channel. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you are new to my channel, welcome. Hey, how you doing? I upload videos 3 times a week on Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Y'all, we are growing. We are growing so much. I just hit 2,600 subscribers and I am so excited about it. I am so grateful. Everyone is always engaged with questions and feedback, and that just makes me so happy. So thank you guys so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for liking the videos. Thank you for reaching out to me. I appreciate all of you. Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram. Most of y'all follow me on Instagram, but if you don't, make sure you follow me there. I haven't been posting as much as I usually do just because work has been kicking my butt, but I'm pretty good about posting on my story at least once a day. Obviously, by the title, you can tell I wanted to share some interview etiquette tips with you guys. Almost everybody loves my HR videos. So if you don't know, I am an HR business partner for a huge company. I live in Atlanta, I work from home, and I support accounts through the Southeast and Central region all the way over to Hawaii and California. I have been with this company for almost 2 years. Totally love my job. Totally love what I do. If you're interested in learning more about my journey, make sure you check out some of my HR videos. I do kind of share my journey, how I got here, how I got the job, and other information that you might want to see. Before I was a business partner, I was on the recruiting side, so I have a lot of knowledge in regards to target audience, target market, scheduling interviews, hosting interviews, panel interviews, reaching out to candidates, XYZ. So I figured I'd come to you and share these tips. Hopefully these tips will help you so that you will ace your next interview. The first tip, be punctual. You need to be on time. You actually need to be early. I know people once said to be on time is to be early. To be early is to be on time. To be on time is to be late. Now, that's it. I got it. Get there early, y'all. Get there 15 minutes early, 20 minutes early, so you can sit in your car, you can calm yourself down, you can say a little prayer, you can do whatever you need to do so that you can walk into the interview calm, relaxed, and at least 5 to 10 minutes before time. Some tips on how you can be punctual. If you're not familiar with the area, take time out of your day prior to your interview to go to the location, find the address, know and understand parking, if you have to pay for parking, if it's in the city, if it's in the suburbs. You want to do all of that beforehand. Obviously, you want to make sure you have gas in your car so that you're not trying to stop to get gas. You want to make sure that you wake up at a decent time if you're going to have a morning interview. And you also want to consider traffic. Like I said, I live in Atlanta. Traffic is a pretty big deal here, especially if you have something that's scheduled for the morning hours or into the afternoon. You want to definitely take that into consideration when you're traveling somewhere and you're trying to get there on time. Tip number 2, let's talk about distractions. So, phones are a distraction, smartwatches, Apple Watches, a distraction, bangles or jewelry that makes a lot of noise. All of those are things that are distractions and will pull away from your interview. Putting your phone on silent or vibrate is not going to do. I would definitely recommend that you just leave your phone in the car altogether. Make sure you turn your watch off. We don't want to have an interview and your watch is beeping because you're getting text messages, or your watch is vibrating telling you you need to stand up, because it's going to throw you off track and it's a total distraction. You also want to make sure that you don't wear any type of jewelry or clothing or have your hair in any type of way that will pull away from you and all of your positive energy that you want to share in your interview. I know a lot of ladies like to wear the Annie and Alex bracelet, Alex and Annie. bracelets. It's like bangles, like 5 and 10 bracelets. You might wear a watch and a bracelet that makes noise. That's not a good idea. You might have some earrings that dangle and make noise. Dangle earrings are not a good idea anyway, but that's not a great idea. Don't wear it. Don't do it. It's literally going to be for 30 minutes to an hour. You can do without your Apple Watch, your phone, and your jewelry for an hour. It's not a huge deal. Tip number 3, be prepared. Now in 2020, everything is electronic, but I am a firm believer that you should always take a copy of your resume on resume paper to your interview. Simply because you don't know what you're going to get when you walk in the building. So you should prepare for the unexpected. What if you get to the office and their printers are not working and so they don't have your resume? You always want to have a copy. What if they ask you to take them through your resume? You want to have that as a reference. You don't have a copy. What are you going to do? What if it's a panel interview and it's 5 people on the panel and only 1 person has your resume? You want to be able to provide a copy to each of those people. So although everything is electronic, you probably submitted your application online and just uploaded the file, I highly recommend that you print your resume off and you take at least 3 to 4 copies with you to the interview. I would also suggest that you have a very nice professional portfolio, meaning just a nice folder. Most of them are leather. A lot of people will get them from their college or university and it just has their university name on it. Some people may have their name on it. Essentially, when you open it, it has like a notepad, maybe a place for a pen. Some of them will have a card holder or a calculator. That part doesn't matter. You just want to have something that looks super professional that you're able to keep your resume in to protect it from the weather or falling or spills or whatever, so that when you're sitting down, you can sit down, you can open the portfolio, and your resume will be right there at your convenience. If you do have a portfolio, I highly encourage you to also take a job description. You don't necessarily need to take the job description inside of the interview, but in those 30 minutes that you arrived early and you're sitting in your car, it's a grand idea for you to review the job description. You want to pull out some keywords so that you can pay attention in your interview in regards to saying what they're looking for. The job description is going to tell you everything, essentially it should tell you everything that you should know about the job. So if the job description says, hey, we want someone who is super organized and punctual and can communicate effectively. You'll want to remember that so that when you're in an interview and they ask you a question, you can throw in you're super punctual, you communicate well, and anything else that you pulled out of the job description, which can just tie it all together. Job descriptions are super important. A lot of people sleep on that and they don't pay attention, but the job description is like the test key. When you're taking the test, the teacher always has the key and they know all the answers. That's the job description for you. It's your key. The next tip is to be professional. You want to dress professional, you want to look professional, you want to sit with great posture, you want to be polite, you want to smile. All of that encompasses professionalism. With professionalism comes 2 other key tips that I want you to make sure you pay attention to. Eye contact and a handshake are 2 of the most important things that people take away when they meet you initially. So you want to own the room. You want to show your presence. You want to walk in and say, hi, I'm Shan Thomas. Very nice to meet you. Make eye contact with them, shake their hand, and go to the next person. Essentially, if you are already in the room and they are entering the room, you want to stand up. You want to look at them and say, hi, I am Shan Thomas. Nice to meet you. And you want to have a nice, strong, firm handshake. Ladies, men, everybody, you need to have a good handshake. It is important. So if you're not sure about your handshake or you don't know how to shake someone's hand, find a friend, find a spouse, find a parent, and practice shaking hands. Not dapping up, not the traditional black boy, oh, what's up, what's good, hug. No, we're not doing that. We're being super professional, and we are shaking hands. You're shaking hands like this is $1 million deal, okay? Shake on it. The next thing that's super important while you're in an interview is allowing the panel or the person who is interviewing you to lead. You never want them to think that they don't have the opportunity to say everything that they need to say. A good example of that would be if someone is asking you a question, make sure that they are finished with the question, pause, and then give your answer. Don't interject. Don't cut them off. Don't any of that. You need to be polite. It's a very professional conversation. They speak. When they're done, you speak. You speak. When you're done, they speak. It's a normal conversation. Unfortunately, I feel like the internet and social media has deterred a lot of people from being able to have professional adult conversations because they're not as common as they used to be. So don't cut anyone off. Don't, yeah, oh yeah, I know what you mean. No, let them finish, pause, and give your answer. You always want to keep your eyes on the person who is speaking. So if it's 5 people and person number 3 is asking you a question, you want to focus and make eye contact with person number 3. After person number 3 has finished asking their question, you pause and you begin to answer. When you answer, you scan the room. So 1, person 2, person 3, person 4, person 5. You scan the room and you make eye contact and you confidently answer the question. Okay? It's very difficult. If you're not experienced with professional conversations, it's something that you can practice. You can practice in your mirror. You can practice with a friend. You can practice with your dog. You can practice with whoever. But if you're not familiar with how to have a professional conversation, don't walk in the interview room thinking you can just do it off the fly. Okay? The last thing that I want to remind people, and I think a lot of people forget this, and it's such bad taste, and I usually don't, or when I was in recruiting, I didn't reach out to people who did not send a thank you email. It's important for you to always send a follow-up email. So we're in the interview is done. Obviously, you get up, you shake people's hand, you make eye contact, you thank them for their time. Thank them for their time. Thank them for their time and the opportunity for you to come in and interview for this position. When you get home, within 24 hours, essentially, I would recommend you wait until the next day. So if you have an interview on Tuesday, on Wednesday, by close of business, you need to send a thank you email. You need to send a thank you email that simply says, hello, and it's not simple. It should be a well-drafted email, essentially about 2 paragraphs. In the first paragraph, I would tell you to say, thank you for your time. Thank you for the opportunity to interview for the HR business partner position at Comcast Cable. And you talk about your conversation, you talk about what you guys discussed. You talk about things that you may have learned or things that you liked from the interview or about the company. You talk about anything that kind of connected you all. In the second paragraph, you reiterate why you are the right person for the job. Okay? I am organized, I am punctual, I am this, I am that. That is your opportunity to sell yourself. The last thing you need to do is say, please feel free to reach out to me should you have any additional questions at phone number or email address. Sincerely, regards, thank you, something, your name. Hopefully everybody know how to write a letter. If you don't know how to write a letter or essentially an email, go on Google. There's so many different templates that you can use so that you can understand the format, but you need to send a thank you email. This is the most common excuse I hear from people. Well, I don't know their email address. How do I know their email address? We could get on the internet and we could find out anything about anybody that we want to know, okay? If it's a company and the receptionist scheduled the interview, send it to the receptionist. Or if the emails, like most companies, is first name dot last name at company.com, send it there. It might work, it might not, but send it. If you have a recruiter who scheduled the interview, ask the recruiter, hey, I want to send a thank you email. I don't have this person's information. Can you share their information? Most of the time they'll say no. If they say no, then say, okay, well, I'm going to send you the thank you email, and I ask that you relay the message to the panel that I interviewed with yesterday. Or I ask that you relay the message to Mr. Bob because I really appreciated him taking the time out to interview me, and I wanted to thank him for his time. You need to do that. It's not a question. It's not a, oh, I forgot. As bad as you want this job, you need to be on it from beginning to end. And FYI, end is when you're sitting in the seat on your first day. Not after a job offer, because you still got to wait on a background check. You still got to wait on a drug test. You might get another position that you like better. The interview stops when you accept the position. You walk in on your first day and you sit in your chair in your office and you say, thank you, God. Got my new job. What's happening? Okay. What's up? Got me a new job. Okay. That's when the interview stops. Everything from the initial phone conversation to that point, it's all a test. You need to make sure you pass that test. I know I'm usually a little bit more relaxed and laid back, but I take my career and my job very seriously. So I hope that you guys learned something new in this video. I hope that these tips can help you when you're going on your next interview. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave them down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, peace.